Apples like this wouldn't have come to China
Nope.
until
They have houses out in the
Sup,
big
heathens?
lake
How
in
ya
the middle of
doing?
town
I'm
here,
the
and there's a
godless
foot of
engineer,
ice.
and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Today, Alan Parr is going to be giving us
I
six
guess it's not
pieces
just
of
the
evidence
tension of
for
the ice
God's
that's holding it
existence.
there, it's also the
Since
water
this is
underneath it.
Alan's definitive
Yeah.
attempt at proving that God exists, I am only
And
going
it's
to
how cold it
expect the
is. It
best
keeps the
evidence
ice
within
the
this
way it
video.
is.
Hopefully, he won't disappoint, but we'll see. If you want to fuck
Keeps
around and
damn
find
teams
out if
keeps
Alan
fucking snowing,
Parr
so
can
it took
prove
them a
that
lot
God
longer to put their ice
exists,
fishing
then please
castles
stay tuned.
out. I'm definitely gonna get one of those when I get older. That's a man's dream. Big old place where you can watch TV, relax, a nice warm area.
I can't see God, I can't
Nice and
smell
fancy.
God, but how do I know if he really exists or this whole
Irish
thing
is
that
over
we
here.
see in our universe is just
I'm just all I think of when I think of ice fishing is ice, i.e. cold, i.e. no.
Oh,
Nope.
great.
Here,
So
you're
we're
only cold
starting with
if you
two
don't have a
proofs
heater.
from the Bible? The Bible can't
But
be used
a lot of
as
people
a
here
proof
own ice
for God
castles, which
because,
is like a
one,
little portable
the
home.
Bible is a claim to a
Like 7
specific
beds,
God, and two,
TV,
any argument
Yeah, that's
cooking
too
against
much
the
space.
space.
Bible
Fuck
is
that.
pretty
That's too
much
much
just,
space. I don't like
or
it.
the Bible tells me so.
I'm a man
Yeah.
cave
Nothing in
kind
the
of fella.
Bible is substantiated with
Yeah, but
evidence. It's just
what happens if you
ad
want to
hoc
bring your buddies over and get
speculation with
drunk and
a
then
little bit
stay
of
over?
historical information in
I'm
order
also
to
a hermit.
justify the God of Abraham. This book simply
That's
can't
probably
be
why.
used as
doesn't
evidence
have
of anything
buddies.
other than what this one group
I
of
have
He's got
people
enemies.
Tarkon
claim.
buddies.
Let's hear
I have
from
enemies and
Mr.
potential
Bill
bait to fire in front of my other enemies.
First proof is what we'll
I mean,
call
squad
an
baits.
internal witness. Now, this is the idea
Okay,
that
that's
deep
nice.
down
I'll take all the
inside of
bullets.
every
Why
single
not?
being, there is this deep
Die a war
internal
hero.
sense
You'll be
that
rewarded in
there must be
Valhalla.
a God
Saving
who
Irish.
exists.
Rewarded the Medal of
I got
Honor.
a lot of stuff out here because Alan goes on to
Even
provide
comes with a free
biblical
potato.
references as well as a diatribe on how atheists really know that God
I love
exists,
potato
but
chips.
insist
And,
that
and,
they
and
don't.
if you're really
He
lucky,
speculates
it's
that
a sweet
atheists
potato if you do like
are lying
extra
to
valor.
themselves or just lying in general. His only solution to this is telling people what they think, thereby
Oh.
denying them
Yeah,
what they
Mom
really
used to make
think. I kind of feel like in an apologist
bacon wrapped
process,
sweet potato
it's
fries.
purely because they can't
That sounds
handle
really
the fact
fucking
that
nice.
atheists exist.
Sounds
This
like
would be a
diabetes,
classic
don't? Alright, well,
example
yeah.
of cognitive dissonance. To
Obesity.
cope with the fact that atheists
Ah,
exist,
that can be fixed with a bit of
experts they
starvation.
have
It's
to
fine.
deny that atheists even exist. Personally, I find this to be a truly sad
Holy shit,
position
is
to
it
take.
taking a while
Another
for us to
position
get
that
a match?
You on the US servers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their queue time's still fucked?
5 minutes and 21 seconds so far, yeah.
I thought they fixed the queue times in the American servers already. I thought they fixed the queue times in the American servers already. We were that bad last time we queued up in the American servers.
Here we go. But yeah, there's a YouTuber. He's dressed up as Santa and started doing the Santa stuff, like waving and dropping shit. He one taps all of the guys. There's like 5 guys around him, I think, 5 or 4, and he kills them all. Takes their shit.
See, when will people ever learn? Don't trust anyone.
Damn it, I didn't bring my markers. That's fine.
You especially don't trust Santa. He sneaks into houses and touches little boys.
See, joke's
What's wrong
on
with
Santa,
touching
I
little
don't have a
boys?
chimney. All my doors are deadbolt, and I sleep with a fucking gun. So
Fair enough.
Here, if you don't get to my house soon, quick, fuck, the cold will kill you before you get to my house.
Holy
Santa
shit.
won't be visiting a lot of houses if he just tries.
Oh, I need to get out of here. I just found a nice gun, because there's like 4 dead bodies up here. Yeah, I've just landed up at the substation on a scab run. 4 dead bodies and a kitted out AKMS with a fucking hammer scope.
Yeah, I'm coming back
Nice.
to you guys.
Alright, yeah, I gotta go up in Big Red.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going in.
I'm in the courtyard.
I don't hear anything.
Alright. Kind of watch the hole in the wall.
God damn! Something's fucking wrong up here.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, where you at? Larget.
Under the
this eternal being, whatever it may be, needed to be able to decide to cause space-time into being.
It didn't need a cause, and it also didn't need God. Ultimately, what the Kalam cosmological argument relies on is a special pleading argument. They especially plead for their God as the answer, and they fail to even consider natural explanations that could explain all of this without the need of a God. And because they can't rule out these natural explanations, that means that their God is not necessary. Anyways, that's what we're going to be listening to tonight. If you heathens want to know more about the Kalam cosmological argument, then please stay tuned.
Scav.
Where?
Yeah, over by the tanks.
What's up, heathens? How ya doing? So tonight we have a Christian named Jacob Pando who's going to be explaining the Kalam cosmological argument for us tonight. And he does it in a very confusing way. And so we're going to try to feel our way through the darkness.
Why are you running away from me, bitch?
Because, by any chance, Manly, do you have a gun?
I can't understand this argument for whatever
Because
fucking
maybe
reason.
that's
I don't know
why.
if that means that we just can't understand it, or
No, he's
we
dead.
willfully understood it, or
I didn't even start shooting at him and he's
something
running
like
away.
that. I'm not sure, but Jacob is
Yep,
here
you have
to
a gun.
explain it to all of us. So let's go,
The
Jacob.
scavs
I
now are
appreciate
either
you taking time out
just
of your,
pussies
I guess,
or
your
gods.
workday, because it looks
Yep.
like you're calling from your
Usually
job
gods, to be fair,
dealership
though.
or something. So
More often
hopefully
than
you're trying-
pussies.
Scav.
Is the reason
Oh, is that Sniper?
behind why space-time came into existence. This is the age-old question of creation. Why did anything come into existence? Okay, to begin with. Now, what allows us to ask this question?
There
What
we
allows us
go.
to ask this question is the very fact that science tells us
There
that
we go.
material space-time came into existence. Otherwise, if space-time had always existed, we wouldn't be asking this question.
Well, I mean, that's akin to saying, hey, if the universe didn't start,
There's
then we
Scav
wouldn't
right
be
over in
having
this
this
tent
conversation.
thing.
I don't understand
Yeah.
how this is supposed to help us understand the Kalam cosmological argument. I don't understand why this
be on the
is
other side of the wall.
really all
Yeah,
that
he's on the other side of the wall. I hit him
understanding
and
any
then he
argument.
ran. And
This just seems like a non-statement to me.
So science allows us to ask the question, why did
Oh, sure he's not back here?
The Big Bang?
Oh,
and
no,
they
he's on the
say
other side,
Before
yeah.
the Big Bang, there was no material space-time. And since all of reality is described by the matter that
He's
it's
dead.
made out of, we know that material space-time came into existence. So what needed
Bad,
to
bad,
exist
Manly.
in order for space-time to have came into existence? We know that whatever needed to exist to spark the Big Bang needed to have always existed, needed to be eternal.
Well, so his fundamental misunderstanding here comes from not realizing that, like, there's our universe, and then there's this underlying fabric of reality that controls, like, shit that happens in our universe. This is where, like, the quantum scalar fields would be. This is Jacob's fundamental misunderstanding, because quantum scalar fields, I mean, they exist everywhere uniformly. And so as far as our universe goes, like what caused our universe to come into existence, the best explanation we have right now is that there was a quantum scalar field that was in a false vacuum state. And then for whatever reason, no cause is even necessary for this. Just, I guess, randomly, it fluctuated from this false vacuum state to a true vacuum state. When it fluctuated from that false vacuum to true vacuum, it released a massive amount of energy. And we have scientific experiments that are repeatable and have been repeated several times that show that these quantum scalar fields can do this. When it released this massive amount of energy, it inflated into like a universe smaller, like a size smaller than what our universe is now. Because after that point, it kept inflating. Anyways, it released all this energy and it flooded the area with these particles called inflaton particles. And because of the second law of thermodynamics, this energy started to degrade as soon as it was released. So it releases, it starts to degrade, it transforms into what would become how we experience our universe today. Like it eventually becomes the matter that we have today. That's how that all started. It didn't need a cause, and it also didn't need God. Ultimately, what the Kalam cosmological argument relies on is a special pleading argument. They specially plead for their God as the answer, and they fail to even consider natural explanations that could explain all of this without the need of a God. And because they can't rule out these natural explanations, that means that their God is not necessary. Until you can rule out all natural explanations for something, and it's a suspension of the natural order of reality, up until that point, you can rule out God. This is part of like Aquinas' 5 ways and the cosmological argument in general. The Kalam cosmological argument just pretty much says that, the universe came into being, everything needs a cause, therefore God caused the universe to come to existence. Or the universe had a beginning. The very raw Kalam cosmological argument I actually don't have a problem with. The thing is that people tack on to the Kalam cosmological argument this idea that it proves God. Specifically, their particular God. This whole uncaused, unmoved mover thing that he's got here on the screen, one thing that disproves that is the fact that we've come into the realization that objects are both naturally at rest and naturally moving in a constant speed in a single direction, unless acted upon by an outside force. So both of those states are like natural states for stuff to be in the universe. We don't need an unmoved mover, as it were. The whole uncaused, unmoved mover thing is part of Aquinas' first way. And in it, he speculates
I
that
lit
things
him
are
up.
naturally
Holy
at rest,
shit.
and they are only moved by a mover. And since
He's
everything
dead
has
now.
been moved by a mover, there has to be
Thank you.
some first
What did he
cause
have?
or entity to
I
start
don't know. I
everything
heard another
moving.
scab.
But that was done away with when we figured out, like through Einstein and other people, that objects are just as
Best to
naturally
the sword
moving in a
eating
single
bullets.
direction at a constant speed as they are at rest. So you don't.
Does anybody
literally
else
need
have
an
any more
unmoved
meds?
mover. And this is
What do you
all
need?
of
Yeah,
these
what do you need?
arguments have been disproven
Just
since like
points.
the 18th
I've got a
century.
CMS
These things
kit,
have been
but he
dealt
pretty
with,
much bring
like, a
all
lot
of
in
my
the
body
past.
parts down to
And
single
this
digits.
eternal being,
There you
whatever
go.
it may be, needed
Thank you.
to be able to decide to cause
He had an 8-or.
space-time into being. So when there is no space-time, what do we have?
And I
We
wouldn't be
have no
surprised if
material
it's
space-time. We have
55A1.
absolute nothingness.
You see, that's where you're wrong.
If he
there,
fucked you up
because
that bad.
Anna's moving
absolute
again.
nothingness does not
Nope.
actually exist.
Or much.
That's theoretical, but it doesn't
Oh, no, he's
exist
just
in
sitting there.
reality.
You got
Because
Nadar?
we have found that when we
Yeah, I took it.
remove everything from a space, a section of space, it still has an electrical charge. There's literally never a pocket of just absolute nothing. So this absolute nothing wouldn't really
almost
exist. This is
done.
that underlying fabric of reality that causes shit to happen. We found that like virtual particles can pop in and
Where'd you
out
guys
of
go?
quote unquote existence, which really
On that
is
body.
just changing
I'm on,
states of
construction.
energy. You have to understand that
Little Con.
the scientific nothing that we actually
Alright, where'd Santa go?
is vastly
He's still
different
there.
from absolute nothing.
Okay, this means there is no time, at least based on matter.
Same spot we left him.
We don't know if there's primordial time or
Who's Santa?
absolute time. In other words,
Yeah.
because it wouldn't be.
Kill
based on
him.
matter.
Kill him.
We know there's
Fuck
an
you.
absolute
I
time.
ain't screwing up my rep.
Okay, so I
Wait,
think
it
what
counts
he's
it if
talking
you're
about
even if you're a
here
PMC?
is the
Yes.
fact that
Oh, yeah.
space-time came into existence
It actually
when this
I get
universe came into
punishes you
existence.
harder
But
for being
I
a
don't
PMC
think
and doing
that
it.
the fabric of reality, this underlying
Just as an
fabric of
extra
reality,
fuck you.
has to exist along with
Best part is, I'm
space-time.
pretty
That
sure normal
quantum
scabs
physics
can
and
spawn
everything like
around
that
him.
doesn't need
So
You guys
you
run
can-
around at big scale?
in order to operate.
I'm
Like, he seems to
at,
think that it
little
would, I guess.
scale.
I don't even know if he's
Or
considering
no, big scale. I'm on top of
theory or
big scale
anything
going down
like
there.
that,
Okay.
but it's very difficult
coming over.
to drill down into
I'm
what
pretty
he's
sure
even
normal
fucking talking about
scabs
here.
spawn around as well, which means you
think
can
that he
very
really doesn't
easily
understand what he's
accidentally
talking
hit
about,
him
and that's why it's a
without
little hard to
fucking aiming
grasp
for
what
him.
he's trying to tell us.
But there, to say that material space-time came into existence, there
But
needs
you know,
to
it's an
exist
extra bit of
something
fun.
that always exists,
I think it'd
that
be
is
smart to have
eternal,
traitor
that is
scabs
independent
scattered
of
throughout, like they don't
material
spawn every
space-time.
time.
So it needed to exist in some form of
And that would,
You
like,
have my Salewa still, or are you done with it?
I don't know
Yeah.
what absolute
You can keep it if you need to.
space-time would be. I'm guessing you're talking
That'd be
about,
cool, but I don't know how
like,
how they'd go about
space-time
doing it,
would be
Largo.
outside of this
That seems like it
universe,
would be
but
cool in
considering
theory.
that
In practice,
space-time,
would probably be a
started with
complete
our
clusterfuck.
universe, I would think that
Yeah. Well, like-
it wouldn't, like, there wouldn't be an absolute
I got a PMC in the woods.
Feels like you're pulling shit
Okay.
out of your ass at
Pistol
this point
runner
in order
over
to
by the
explain
stash.
it. But also, like,
That
as
sounded
far
like an
as
M3.
the eternal thing that exists, I don't understand why that can't be just simply the fabric.
I'm
of
up on
reality.
train
Like,
tracks.
reality itself is the eternal thing that exists. I would really love for you to be able to distinguish between this underlying fabric of reality and your God. The difference is that the underlying fabric of reality is just something that exists naturally and is therefore governed by whatever natural laws govern it. It wouldn't have
Is
a
he
mind
still
of its
there?
own.
I
or
didn't
anything
hear
like
any
that.
running.
You seem to think that a conscious being is needed to make.
Could
the
be hiding.
decision to
You guys
create
found
the
this
universe.
guy useful?
When
Oh,
we
yeah,
have
definitely.
a natural explanation for how
I mean, that's what I would do
this
if I were
universe
him.
could have come into
If you're by
existence.
the
Yeah,
It also
especially with the
means
pistol.
that our universe may not be the only universe
Going
out
through the
there.
main
There
entrance,
could be
follow it round to the right, go up the stairs the entire way up, turn right, pass the hole on the floor, and on your right hand side you'll see room 303. Once inside that room, you'll see a bed on your right hand side, a chest of drawers, and
other universes out there that do exist that are vast distances away from us. I don't even know how that would work. But the point of the matter is that you jump to the conclusion that God had to be the one to do it, or this special supernatural entity. You're specially pleading for your God.
And this is what we call the uncaused, unmoved mover, okay? Because it hasn't been unmoved. It's not what's being moved. It's what causes the moving. It's what causes every other cause in the universe that led up to this point in time.
He may get into infinite regresses here in a minute. If he does, I don't understand why infinite regresses can't exist. Like, infinite is not like a real number or anything like that. It's just a very, very large number. But, you know, saying that there can't be an infinite regress backward kind of implies that there can't be numbers, you know, that go off forever, right? Like, can you tell me what the largest number is? I mean, it's the exact same thing as you know, saying that there can't be an infinite regress. Is there some kind of cap on numbers in general? Like, is there some largest number that numbers just don't exist past that number? I don't see a good argument that there's like a top or a bottom to this set of real numbers, right? It just goes off into infinity, which just means really, really big numbers. So I just don't understand why infinite regress is impossible. But even so, I don't think that even if infinite regresses weren't possible, I don't think that means that God has to exist. I think that it could definitely be traced back to a quote-unquote first cause that's a natural cause.
So this is what the argument from creation. The uncaused, unmoved mover. The one who moves things. Okay? It's not moved by anything else. Otherwise, if we do not have such an eternal entity, then we're led to an assumption of infinite regressions. Infinite causes that continue on forever. And as we could see, based on what we do see of material space-time, is that everything did have a cause. Things couldn't have continued in causation.
Except for your God, because your God's special. He's just highlighting how specially pleading it is. To say that everything in this universe needs
a damn
cause
pistol.
except my God. You can't get any more blatant about a special
What?
pleading argument than
The
that.
guy you
If
seen.
everything in this
Pistol.
universe and in this reality has a cause, then your God also has a cause. Otherwise, it's a special pleading argument.
Because
I don't know why people pissed on him.
theories like the heat
And that was it just
or
seems like a waste of money. I just
reaches
hatchet
a
run it.
maximum
If I'm gonna go that low gear, just hatchet run.
thermodynamics comes into play, and all of heat
Nah, because you
dies
can
out.
snipe a
All the heat in the
scav and then
universe from a
take his
fireplace
shit
to the
and
gases that form the
run with
sun.
it.
All the heat in this entire universe, no matter how big it is,
I'll
will die
usually
out
go like,
one
well,
day.
now that
And
they have
that's why we
shotguns like
know
the double
that the
barrel,
sun
I'll
has an
usually go
age.
the double
The
barrel
universe as a whole
because that
has
thing
an
is
age.
fucking
It
amazing.
hasn't always existed.
The heat
Gage, you
density
did get your
regress is
shit
how we
right.
know things have
I already
ages.
did, yeah, I
feel
got
like
it.
we
Okay,
know
just making
things have
sure.
ages because
Well, like if
space-time
half
exists,
pistols
not
laying about,
because
Yes,
the heat
I'll bring
of
us,
the
but don't
universe
buy
is
one for a fucking run
slowly
because like
approaching.
let's
This
see
is
the
It's
Rashala?
true
This
that-
is Rashala?
that there will be a heat
Shit,
death
back
in the
off.
universe. I don't think
Oh,
that
fuck.
that
Yeah,
really
he's
gives you
fucked
any
me.
information about like
I
when
died.
the universe began or anything like that. I mean, we can probably
backing off big
guesstimate
time.
when the heat death of the universe is going to be. I'm sure that there's actually
Gage, you still alive?
out there. The heat death will occur in 10 to
There's other people
100
here.
years if protons decay.
There's other
Usually
people
the
or just
logarithmic
Rashala?
scales used
Other
for such
people,
time
they're on the other
modes
side of the
that
fence. They
progresses
ran
the
up
most
on us.
interesting
I ran up
Stellar
the
Fare
fence.
too much, so
I
it's
need.
still a
He
long
fucked me
ways
up. He
away.
blocked out
I
both
don't
my
understand
arms.
what the
I
big
think
bang
Rashaal and the
of
gang
the
just
universe
fucked you
is.
up.
Atheists and scientists, more so scientists than
I just
like
bolted
anything
across on the
technical
other side of the
atheism
fence.
or the God question. would
Right,
admit that the
Molly's up a
universe
sniper rock now,
had a
looking for them.
beginning. What we don't agree with you on is the idea that God had to be the one to create the universe. I mean, scientifically minded people think that
Someone's
the
up here
universe
too.
naturally came into existence. Until you can prove any kind of supernatural thing to happen, the natural explanations are going to be
Fuck,
the
we should just
most
leave.
likely
I'm almost
Just
dead.
come,
that is true. Your special pleading for a god is just not going to work on anything, in anybody. Or at least it shouldn't work on anyone.
We see that the universe is expanding
Yeah, I got somebody up
at
here.
a much faster rate, okay, than previously predicted. To throw out theories like the Big Bounce, for example.
Gage can
It
run
says that
up
the
the
universe
substation
will
going wide left. That
eventually,
might draw him away. Make it give us a chance to back him
Is
up
that-
and escape.
It'll slow down as it expands.
Is that Rash?
Okay, but we don't
Fucking
see that.
engage him now.
The very fact that the universe is actually expanding without any signs of decreasing, and it's just actually
He went right, Manly.
increasing in the rate that
Oh, okay,
it is
one of them went right.
expanding, proves that the Big Bounce is a hoax. The contraction, the idea
Player
of
scav.
contracting is a hoax. Okay.
Yeah, Gage, hold tight.
It's not a
I-
hoax. You using the word hoax here
Is that you running?
really disingenuous
No, I'm up
because
on
you know
Sniper
it's
Rock.
not a hoax. I just think that maybe you don't understand what hoax means. That's the only way that I can figure that you would
My
call it
head
a
is
hoax.
blacked
It is
out.
a hypothesis, and I
Fuck,
would
alright.
say that it's probably the
Where
least
are you?
likely,
I'm by
correct
blue
hypothesis
containers.
out of the multiple hypotheses that are out there about the universe and everything. This big crunch or the big bounce, as you say, it still has some premises in it that are not exactly, they haven't been proven. There's not a solution for them yet. It's like, for instance, one of those things is the reverse of entropy. We don't know of any kind of natural process that would reverse entropy. We don't know how to overcome that, so that's why it's the least likely one, but it's still a possibility, I guess. There are multiple different ideas about what will happen. I mean, the heat death of the universe, it just being like that, and that's it, could be one of them. Multiple universes is also a very plausible one. There's the whole bubble universe thing. You're presenting this one particular hypothesis, calling it a hoax when it's never taught, or discussed as anything but a hypothesis. You're discussing it like it's the proposed scientific explanation that is the best scientific explanation for things, and it's just not.
So the other theory is that the universe will split itself apart. It'll destroy itself, making an empty void. And that's also proof, or a theory that proves that this universe isn't eternal, isn't infinite. Okay, it isn't infinite. Now, when it comes to the second law of thermodynamics, which basically, the most elementary way to put it,
Oh, someone killed
says
him on
that matter is
factory, and
either
I took his
created or
gun
destroyed.
because it was
It's
the
talking
shitty
about
one.
the system itself, the universe itself,
Not a
the way
shotgun.
it is at this very moment in time. All the matter that we see, whenever the fire, for example, in my examples before, when the fire burns out, the ashes or whatever remains of that fire is still there. Okay, the fire is heat, but whatever it burns up, the matter, it just diverts into a more random state of entropy.
Jacob here is saying really nothing of any kind of substance. He's trying to explain the second law of thermodynamics to us without really explaining the second law of thermodynamics, because the second law of thermodynamics is about how energy degrades over time, or how entropy increases. Let's just take the sun, for example. The sun radiates photons. These photons, whenever they hit something like the Earth, they transfer a little bit of energy to the Earth, and a little bit is reflected back, right? That's what we end up seeing with our eyes. This transfer ends up being heat, right? That's why shit gets hot when it's sunny outside, right? So it transfers as heat, and then this heat dissipates, and the energy lessens, or entropy increases. The energy ends up dissipating. Basically, what's happening here is that the universe is seeking a stable state. And that stable state is equal to zero energy. That's why it's called the heat death of the universe, because eventually our universe is going to get to this stable state of zero energy. And so that's where we're heading to. Cernian in the chat did correct me, not saying not zero energy, thermal equilibrium. I don't know how this exactly factors into the Kalam cosmological argument, or why he's bringing up his fire example here.
So it's a chemical change. It's a mere chemical change. It's not going anywhere. Matter still remains. But before the Big Bang, we cannot say the same.
Matter can't be created or destroyed, true. But it's more about like the energy of the universe, right? That's what the second law of thermodynamics is about.
We cannot say the same for what was before the system of space-time came into existence. We're talking about a time when the laws of thermodynamics, when the laws of physics break down, when the laws that we refer to, they actually break down because they're no longer applicable. All right.
So what is
you get them all killed, Lonely?
Our own understanding of the laws of physics. These are human descriptions of what we perceive in reality. Now, there are certain situations that we know of where the laws of physics break down. One of those situations is the beginning of the universe. Another one of those is near the event horizon of a black hole. These laws of physics, when they get into these special situations, they don't hold anymore. Reality operates differently at those points in time. So we don't know how
somebody came third party
is going to operate in these other special situations, like black holes in the beginning of the universe. We don't.
Come on, bud. Player Scav killed him.
Nice.
Killed Reshala? Or no, the PMC.
Yeah. Somebody killed that PMC and then I killed him. That's Player Scav. It's a shame you guys all died too.
You just kept talking shit? Of course it had to be Reshala. It's my first time meeting Reshala ever.
How many fucking bodies is there now then?
A lot.
A lot.
Because there's 3 teammates, but 2 PMCs that tried the third parties. Reshala, all his bodyguards, and then the Player Scav who tried to clean up the rest of it. Fuck. They just love you today, man. Gonna say, take that fucking rig. I'd honestly just see what ammo's in them mags, manny, though. The NATO mags. Because the mags themselves are cheap.
I don't have time for that. I got 4 minutes.
Oh yeah, shit, fair enough. Check my fucking servers. If I get the American servers picked again, because Jesus, my queue times are terrible again. Son of a bitch.
Don't know how they're going to operate exactly. Once we can observe them, we can then